Hey everyone, Internet PCS Book Reader here. Today I want to talk about The Apothecary Diaries by Natsuo Hyuga and Toko Shino. I bought this book when it was on a discount list thinking it was manga, but apparently this is a light novel. I honestly didn't even know that The Apothecary Diaries was from a light novel because the title didn't give it away. Light novels that I know usually have a whole ass paragraph for their title after all. Natsuo Hyuga, not the maid ninja from Naruto, the author apparently originated from the web novels Shousetsuka ni Naro, the same place where Re:Zero, Mushoku Tensei, and other mostly more garbage series came from. The web novel concept I think mostly came from Asia, besides Japan, China and Korea also have this. But since they're sites that people usually only try to write as many chapters as humanly possible, most of their quality is S. The one that suffers the most is Chinese web novel, with a lot of the web novel there going to up to 3000 chapters and more, and usually ends up with the author dropping the series when it's not getting as much views. Korea and Japan also have the same problem, but there are more stories there that have a more natural conclusion despite some parts really feel like they're being stretched and milked to dry. Back to Shousetsuka ni Naro, usually some of the most popular novel there that you can read for free is taken by a publishing company, kinda like SoundCloud rapper. In Apothecary Diaries' case, its licensing is bought by Square Enix, the company that used to make some of the best JRPG. Then the author got paired by Toko Shino, who helped draw and design most of the characters. But for the mangaka is a different artist named Neko Kurage that got into the news lately, which made the fans clench their ass since in past cases there were some manga artists that likes kids a little bit too much. But for her, it's worth accusation that she had fully settled, so there should be no worries that the artist will change. The story itself is set within Chinese Kingdom in the Tang Dynasty, so around 600 to 900s. It starts inside the harem for the emperor. Our main character Mamo has been locked inside the harem for 3 months away from her dad, but she seems nonchalant about it. It's a very efficient character setup, introducing us to the world, the character, her background, and her personalities all in just a few panels. We even know that she got here because she was kidnapped by bandits and was sold to the harem, which let us know a little bit what kind of world she's living at. She tried to keep a low profile, even hiding the fact that she can read despite the low literacy rate among the girls there, so being able to read means opportunity to have more. But she preferred to not have to deal with the hassle that comes with it, and prefer being unknown. Unfortunately, there was a conspiracy brewing inside the harem. A curse, according to Mamo's friend Xiaolan. The babies from the harem consort were dying. 3 of them have died so far, and there's only 2 survivors, the male heir of Lady Riva and the daughter of Lady Gyokyo. Both of them had a public fight in front of everyone. Mamo immediately knew why the babies were sick. Not cursed, sick. From The Simpsons and from looking at both the queen, Mamo deduced what's making the baby sick. But unfortunately, it seems that the only doctor in the harem doesn't notice the cause of the sickness yet, so Mamo tried to leave a note inside the queen's room and left. The note doesn't seem to work because Lady Riva's son died soon after, and because of the note, Mamo was summoned along with all the other servants to meet Jinshi, the other main protagonist of the series. Jinshi tried Mamo by showing a letter without speaking, and since Mamo is the only one that can read, she's the only servant that reacts to the letter. Jinshi even directed the letter to Mamo because she realized that the note left behind for the queens are written in a servant's clothing, and Mamo is the only one with ripped skirt. If you haven't noticed yet, this is a detective manga. Yes, like Kindaichi and Conan. There's even one use of basic fingerprint powder in the story later on. It is filled with a lot of mind games and deductive reasoning like these scenes, but in a historical Chinese ancient kingdom instead of modern world. Thanks to Jinshi noticing all this small evidence, Mamo got found out that she's not illiterate and that she was the one who left the note. And thanks to Mamo leaving the note, Lady Gyokyo's daughter's life was saved. The babies was sick because of the powder that the harem queens were using. They most likely contain lead, which as you know is poisonous, but they have a whitening effect that is commonly used back then for cosmetics. Mamo noticed this because the prostitute that works in the brothel she was raised at were using them and got poisoned. A really good deduction scene that have a subtle drop of Mamo's background. And since no good deed goes unpunished, Mamo got a promotion to work as Lady Gyokyo's personal attendant, the person who tested poison for her. The group had a great chemistry to them. They pampered Momo a little, not just because she's a new girl who had to test for dangerous poison, but she also had some scars in her head that they think is from the hard life she's been living, not realizing that it's because Momo liked to test things on her own body, including poisons. She had almost nothing to do at first in her new job besides eating food, but she finally got a job from Jinshi to make aphrodisiac for him, telling us further about Momo's skill with making medicine that is not just for health purposes. She accepted because of her obsession with experimenting with herbs and made some chocolate that Jinxie will use later to get revenge to someone that tried to feed him aphrodisiac. Mama even had to take a request from the emperor to have Queen Riva that is still sick after losing her son. It's basically an order because it came from the emperor. The case will show that Mama can throw hand if she gets pushed hard enough. Then later on, the castle had a garden party, one of the most famous political party historically, which is how we are introduced further to the politics in the world of the Apothecary Diaries. We knew that there are 4 first-rate consorts that is either the favorite of the emperor or just the most politically important. The emperor didn't even visit one of them because his taste is more bountiful, despite them being first-rate consort. The war really gets so much more flesh out here. Because of trying to give makeup to Mamo, it was revealed that she had to add the freckles on her face manually to make her less attractive, because she works in a dangerous place where some drunk men would sometimes assault the workers there. It's the first time that Jinxie showed another side of himself to Mamo too. Eventually, the party started where Mamo detected poison on one of the soup for Lady Gyokyo, which turned out is not meant for Lady Gyokyo but it's for Lady Rishu, the youngest of the first-rate consort. She was being bullied by her own servants, because the harem is such a cutthroat place to live in and any weakness will be exploited. Her servant also switched the food for Risu and Gyokyo, not realizing that Risu is allergic to seafood. She's not just being young and picky with her food. There is no mention of food allergies in the Tang Dynasty, but the symptoms are out there. And feeding someone a food they're allergic to is poisoning them, whether it was intentional or not. They can't just go, it's just a prank, bro. A lot of the scenes show how fragile life inside the castle is, because there is a very distinct class system that separates the value of people's life. And in the world of Apothecary Diaries, this is true whether it's inside the harem gates or outside where civilians live. There's these 2 annoying mistakes that writers often make when trying to write historical fiction. One is that they either go too far to vilify things that in the past people has to accept as normal back then, because it can be really dangerous to publicly speak up against them. Then the other mistake is trying to glorify them by portraying them as a good thing to do when they're obviously not, even when it was done back then. The author did a great job balancing this aspect by viewing the world mostly through Mao's perspective as the detective in the series. It shows very early on how a girl like Mamo can be easily kidnapped and sold to the kingdom, which is basically the government of the time. It shows how low the level of literacy is. It didn't only tell you, it also shows you as it is happening. It's a really great use of show don't tell. It's so good actually that I will go as far as give some trigger warning for bad things that can happen to a woman back in the 900s. For example, there's a case about a ghost dancing in the moonlight, which is a case where a girl sleepwalking was mistaken as a ghost. The girl also might have faked having dangerous sleepwalking because she was about to get out of the harem to marry her childhood friend, and there's a chance that the emperor might take her virginity because he wanted and he can, and that he might have done that before. The emperor is basically God back then, and there's nothing anyone can do when he chose to do something. But that doesn't mean she cannot try to outsmart everyone by faking an illness, and there are many cases like this that just show instead of tell. The poisonous cosmetic powder and the feet binding that was normal back then because it's the beauty standard of the time that pressure women to do them if they want to be chosen as marriage partners. The economy can be so bad that sometimes there are parents that cannot afford to raise a daughter that cannot become an heir, so they sold her. And worse, sometimes it's just as simple as the parents getting addicted to gambling or alcohol and sold the daughter for extra money. If not to the brothel, then like Xiaolan to the harem to do laundry and work there. So this book is not only one of the best modern detective series, it's also one of the best historical fiction. And it's not only that, the romance subplot is also done really well. Momo and Jinxie is such well-written characters with one of the most interesting chemistry. Jinxie is someone who have to abandon most of his childhood because he had to learn to be politically savvy since early, and Momo is someone who have to abandon most of her childhood since her mother is a prostitute that is lucky enough not to be thrown out into the street, and she is without a father, so she had to learn to be independent while being raised by the apothecary that becomes her father figure. So both of them have to learn from early on to have to be independent and able to protect themselves. These two are one of the keys that move the plot forward. So as we go, we will know more about their complex background and their personality, and their chemistry will change over the course of the story. At first, Jinxie is basically like a dog that runs around Momo wanting for a fun reaction, while Momo is an introverted cat that just wanted to swat the dog away. But they'll eventually become close enough to tease each other in a friendly manner, and the more they got closer, the more Jinxie is the one that reacted more strongly to whatever problems that arise because of Momo's curiosity. From what I've gone through so far in this video, there will be a lot more smaller cases that Momo will have to solve. The death of an officer from alcohol poisoning, a burned warehouse, a fight between sons of a famous blacksmith, or small incidents that don't seem to have anything to do with each other that will eventually lead to a bigger political conspiracy inside the palace, showing us that there is so much more to the story. This is one of, if not the best web novel that came out of Yoshitsuka Ninaro. It had such clean and precise writing and so many good and subtle setup that paid off in a big way. Not even Mushoku Tensei that people agreed is the best isekai that come from the same side is anywhere near as clean as this. I highly recommend checking out the series whether it's from the novel, the manga, or the anime adaptation. I give this a 5. What do you think? Let me know if I missed anything, so leave your thoughts in the comment below and subscribe to the channel. That's about it. See ya.